Brianne, welcome to the cave.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining me today. Talk about your latest project, God of the Night.
hmm
Came out a few days ago. How do you feel so far about this movie just getting released?
Yeah, it's so funny. I kind of lost track of like when it was supposed to come out, and then I had a friend remind me, be like, did your movie just come out?" And I'm like, "Oh, yeah, I guess so." It's because we had our premiere at South by Southwest, and that for me felt like that was the premiere. But I'm so excited now. The reception was so great at South by Southwest. I had such an amazing time shooting this movie, and so for the rest of the world to be able to see it is really exciting.
Yeah. I watched it last night, and we'll jump into it in a few minutes. But I want to let you know that I watched Unhuman, by the way, and I enjoyed that movie. And
Oh,
it's funny, like you're all these roles that you're getting into lately. It's all like the horror thriller. Like, how does it make you feel that people are calling you the new Scream Queen? By the way,
oh, that's so kind. I'm a big horror fan. I mean, growing up, Sarah Michelle Gellar was like my icon, one of the many.
yeah,
But so to be able to hear people say that about me is so cool and surreal. And yeah, I've been doing horror and thriller for a while now, and I really do love the genre. I think that the fan base is so dedicated, so passionate, and
mm,
they've always been so kind to me. And I really love to be able to like push the limits emotionally and physically of what I get
yeah,
to do on screen. And when you're in this genre of horror thriller, you usually get to do those stunts. You get to be under duress. You get to cry, scream, all those things,
right.
and then find a way to make that feel grounded and real. Um, that's a challenge that I really like to take on.
So yeah, God of the Night. How were you approached now for this series? Tell us about your audition for Greta.
I was actually filming Unhuman in
Okay.
New Orleans when I got this audition, and I think Eli had like a very short list of people he wanted to read for it, and I read the script
Mm,
that night, and that I got it, and I read it twice, back to back, because
wow.
it was just so good. I was like, I cannot believe what I've just read. I need to read it again, and I completely fell in love with it. And I taped it that following weekend, and I was so like nervous. I remember because I wanted it so bad, and it was
Mm,
unlike any character I'd really ever played before. And it's interesting because I don't know if I had as much faith in me as Eli did in me, but I'm glad he revealed that to me because it's definitely something that pushed me out of my comfort zone. And yeah, the character of Greta is so interesting, and Eli really gave Owen and I the opportunity to be very collaborative and
mm.
weird when creating Al and Greta.
So yeah, like I mentioned earlier, I watched the movie last night. There's a lot of like twists and turns throughout this movie too. You don't know which way it's gonna go. Now for
Yeah.
Greta, like, was there any challenges playing this character? Because this character is a little bit different from other roles in the past that you've played.
Yeah, I would say it was it was challenging in that, everything Greta does is very calculated.
Mm,
The way you perceive her when you first see her, that's calculated,
yeah.
everything. And not only that, but the movie is non-linear, so, like, things we're getting flashbacks and then the present day, but also still not in the right order. And
Mm,
so I had to have 2 separate scripts. I had the one that was in the way that Eli wrote it, and then I had it in chronological order, and that helped, but it still was obviously very confusing. But it was just making sure that, like, even when Greta speaks, sometimes we would add these disfluencies that showed that maybe she had actually caught herself in a lie, or, um, like she would use words like when she
mm.
kind of felt a little flustered, but that those were very specific moments. And normally she's a very confident, overly confident person who really loves to be the person in power.
You mentioned you read the script twice. What was your reaction the first time you read it, and then after that again, like the whole ending and everything?
It's funny because when I first read it, I mean, I knew that it was good and it was just so interesting. I honestly think I just didn't understand it the first time I read it. It just like blew me away. I don't know
Mm,
if I was in shock or if like I truly just like didn't comprehend what was happening. So I was like, I don't know what I just read, but it was awesome. Let me read it again, make sure I understand what's happening. And so I think that's why I had to read it again. And also it was such a quick read. You know, it's not always like that where you get a full feature-length script and you just breeze through it. It felt like I was reading it in a matter of minutes versus I don't know how long it took me, like 30 minutes.
Mm. Now,
Yeah.
how was it working with the cast? It's a small cast, you know, it's not a huge production. How was it working with them? You got some good names in there.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. I mean, I still have to pinch myself when I think about it. Um, yeah, it was a very intimate experience. You know, it was minimal crew, minimal everything really. And I really enjoyed that because I felt like we became a family and, um, you know, we really only had each other. So it wasn't a
Mm.
lot of distraction. We all felt very present, very passionate about this project, and we all wanted to be there. And I think that shows in the work. But it definitely translated in terms of my experience. And I was working with people like Winona, Dermot, John, Eli, Owen, all people that, and I'm not lying. Like I was fans of all of them before I even
Yeah.
got this script. And so I was just thinking like, whoa, the fact that I get to work with them, like not only do I need to step up my game, but I just need to find a way to not like fangirl when I meet them all. And luckily they all were so cool and supportive and kind. And it was just like an ideal experience.
That's awesome. Was there any advice given to you on set by working with them?
You know, John gave me a piece of advice that I really, really to this day still hold on to dearly is I remember we were doing a scene. It was me, Owen, and John, and we were at the bar.
Okay.
And I remember we were doing, I think we started with my coverage. We did that, and then we turned it around to Owen. And I remember I said out loud, and I think I meant to say it just to myself. I was like, why am I a way better actor when the camera's not on me? and um and John was like, you know what's funny? I've been doing this a long time and I still feel that way too.
Wow.
And it was just that, like, you know, you see these, and don't get me wrong, I would watch everyone that I was working with, and they're so talented, like, no matter what. But like, we are always going to be harder on ourselves, I think. And I just don't think that like be there's no way an actor or an artist should be 100% sure and comfortable in what they're doing, because then I think
Mm.
you stop growing and you're not taking, that means you're not taking risks. That means you're not passionate, because you know if there's not a little hint of fear,
Mm.
then you don't really care that much, you know. But yeah, he said that to me, and I remember I've seen so many of John's films. I was like, whoa, that was a very surreal grounding experience for me.
Now, what's been the reaction so far from like friends and family that saw the movie, and what are you hoping for when they, even like regular fans that go in and watch this?
Well, so with my family, it's funny. This movie is playing at my childhood movie, the theater I used to go to as a child, and
Yeah.
so my parents still live in that area, so they've gone to see the movie twice since it's come out, which is so cute. My dad loved it. My mom, my mom doesn't really like scary things, and it's funny because I do a lot of scary things, and so every time she goes and watches it, she kind of gets like pretty tipsy in order to watch it. And then
Mm.
she always texts me. She's like, "Why didn't you warn me? I had almost had a heart attack." And I'm like, "Well, I can't. That defeats the purpose, you know, mom." But I think people are. What I hope is when people go to watch this film, not only are they just like pleasantly surprised and satisfied with the twist and the ending, but I hope they really appreciate the performances because everyone worked so hard on this film. And I don't know. I think Eli is just so unique and intelligent, and I just hope people are able to appreciate this beautiful, weird, unique film that he's made.
Mm. Yeah. Like I said, I guarantee you, whoever tunes in to watch this, they'll like it, especially because, like I said, it's not just a horror movie. It's like there's a little thriller and mystery around it. You got to pay attention to this movie.
Exactly.
You got to put your phone on the side to watch this.
Exactly, which I love, you know. I hate when that's why I love foreign films actually, because like you have to put your phone away, you know,
Right.
because otherwise you're gonna miss what's happening. But in a way, I think this film also you have to watch it that way. Otherwise, you'll miss like a crucial detail.
So, Gone of the Night, available now in the theaters. Brianne, I want to thank you for giving me a few minutes today to talk about the movie.
Oh yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. So, yeah.